Welcome back. I'm Michael. You're listening to The Michael Dresser Show. Lisa Dwoskin with us, the author of Metamorphosis, The Transformation Within. Stop seeking and begin living the life that you were meant to live. Lisa is a longtime fitness correspondent on NBC6 South Florida for The Rick Sanchez Show. She was also a competitive bodybuilder, a fitness competitor, and a gym owner. And she devoted her life to chasing the perfect body, but found this quest had drastic negative side effects to both her health and her personal life. And she had to make a major, major change. Lisa, hi, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Oh, and thank you so much for being here. I'm an old gym rat. I've been around a gym all my life. I wouldn't know what it was like not to go out and work out. But there comes that time, and I imagine for a few people that if it monopolizes your life, then all of a sudden you have to take a look at what else is missing out there.
Exactly. That's what happened with me. I was just so focused on my body and being fit and loving fitness that I got lost. It was a kind of an escape from reality. And I realized that you need to focus more on your mind, not just your body, when you're into the whole realm of the fitness world.
But how do you balance that out? And when I say how do you balance that out, not everybody did it, with the degree that you did it, that really got into it. And my God, I've got a picture of you here. You look phenomenal. But where is that?
Thank you.
But where is that point where you know that this is not, your body isn't your entire life? What did that happen for you?
Well, when did that happen to me?
Yeah, for you. When did you realize?
Well, I started having a lot of health issues, marital problems, financial problems, and I realized that every time I had an issue, I would escape to exercise. And it made me feel so good, the endorphin rush, the high that you get from working out, the escape from reality, kind of like others choose alcohol, prescription drugs, recreational drugs. And my drug of choice was exercise. And I started figuring out that I was not facing any of my issues in the reality of my life. I was just escaping to exercise. So mentally, I figured that I had to deal with my issues at hand, not just keep going running or spinning or whatever form of exercise I chose to do to escape. And then also physically, my body was breaking down because I was told by many doctors that I was lifting too heavy amounts of weight because I was a fitness competitor. And I didn't want to listen, so I continued doing it until finally my actual organs were collapsing and falling almost out of my body. My uterus, my bladder, everything just started kind of collapsing, and I had to go in for a 5-hour surgery because I didn't listen to what the doctors were saying. And it wasn't that I was so obsessed and had to do it, but when you reach a higher level of fitness, you keep reaching higher levels and you kind of don't stop because it feels so good and you look so good that it just takes over your life a bit.
No, what kind of a regimen did you have when you worked out? Did you work out 7 days a week, 4 days a week, and how many hours?
No, I worked out 6 days a week and only an hour. So I never had an issue where I was working out 3 hours a day and that was everything. So I knew what I should do. I knew what was too extreme and what wasn't. So an hour a day, 6 days a week. I'd always take a day off to rest. But I guess I thought I was doing everything the way I should be doing. But then as more issues started coming up and I realized that escaping from exercise wasn't enough and I wasn't going to work out anymore because physically, like I said, my body was collapsing, I just started realizing that there was this whole other entity that I was missing, and that was working on my mind and my spirit and not just my physical body.
No, the one thing
that's when I started to make changes.
Yeah, the one thing I learned years ago, let's say you're going to do a bicep workout, and you work out and you get everything pumped, everything's going well and it's starting to grow. But if you work out too much, it has a reverse effect. The muscle starts to tear down. There's got to be that.
Of course.
Yeah, there's got to be that certain something middle of the road where You can work out enough, and then there's a certain time to stay away from it, because you're absolutely right. You can do more damage than it can do good if you do not know what you're doing. And you got to know what you're doing when you work out. It's not just get under weights and push.
No, for sure. So many people overuse their body and work out. I find every day I'm at the gym, people will approach me and ask me, like, do you work out every muscle group every day? Or, I want my abs to look great and have a six pack, so I work them out every day. And it's ridiculous, because working them out every day is not going to get you a six pack, just like working out your biceps. You can't work them out every day. You can't work your legs out every day. So, and I find exactly what you just said. People do not know what they're doing, and that's what's harming so many people that join gyms and have no clue what they're doing. And if they're not getting help, they're actually injuring themselves more and overusing their body. And what you said, counterproductive. They're tearing down all their muscle fibers, not giving them enough time to rebuild, and always getting injured and hurt and just doing the exact opposite that they should be doing.
Sure, and when you really come down to
I
it,
agree with you.
It's in your talking points, and it's so important to really hear this and be aware of it, that people can actually get addicted to working out. It is like a drug.
100%. It happened to me. That's what my book is about. Part of it is just escaping. I thought, how great that I am as a person, that I don't do drugs. I'm not taking all these prescription pills. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm this health nut exercise person, until I realized that I wasn't facing the issues at hand. And I also have a very close friend of mine whose wife passed away, and he got into exercise and loves going to CrossFit and working out, and it helped heal him from losing his wife, until he got injured and couldn't work out anymore. And then he was stuck with facing what had happened in his life, and facing his inner truth and his hurt and grieving process that he hadn't faced because he was escaping to exercise. So he had a big issue, and I ended up giving him a copy of my book that helped him. So I really try to teach people, yes, exercise is great if you do it like anything else in life, in moderation. You find a balance, but you can't just escape with exercise, and it definitely could be a form of an addiction if people overuse it or escape to exercise.
Okay, now there are 5 things people really do wrong when they're working out that can cause these problems. What are we dealing with when we're looking at that?
Okay, first thing is people feel that they need to join a gym to get into exercise. And really, you don't have to join a gym because of everything we're talking about. If you don't know what you're doing, why are you going to join a gym and get hurt? Although I was a gym owner for 13 years, I believe in the health club industry. But go out your front door and go walking, 20 minutes. So I 20 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day. So I feel that if people just realize that they don't need to be in a physical gym to exercise, that we get a lot more people out there active, and obesity would definitely go down from 1 out of every 6 people, and obesity wouldn't be so worldwide spread as it is now. So I see that as the number one issue, is people just need to be active. Another thing that people do wrong that actually harms them, I feel, is goal setting or doing New Year's resolutions. The beginning of the year, they're going to go join a gym, lose 30 pounds, 90 pounds, 60 pounds. By the end of January, they're not even going forward in their New Year's resolutions. So goals are good, but set realistic goals. And don't really set goals to change your life. Set a goal to make it a way of life forever. Eat healthy, exercise 30 minutes a day. I think too many people just set too many unrealistic goals for themselves. So that would be the second issue I find in the fitness industry. Another thing is that the third thing is that I feel that people focus too much on the physical physicality of exercise and they forget about their mind. They need to do things to help calm their mind down. Meditation, yoga is so important. Anything that's a mind-body connection that could help them out would be a lot better than just physical. And escaping, like what we talked about, escaping with exercise. Use exercise as a benefit for your life, not as an escape. And last, I would say diet. Too many people are on these crazy diets, lose 30 pounds in 1 month, and then gain 50 the month they're off the diet. So just, again, make it a way of life. Set realistic goals that you can keep long-lasting, year-long, so that you can have longevity of life and stay healthy forever, for the rest of your life.
And we're not all Schwarzeneggers. You know, which is interesting. If you looked at Arnold Schwarzenegger at his prime, my goodness, I mean, he was chiseled out. Where do you get a better body than that? But if you look at him today,
right.
If you don't keep it up, it's gone.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not just exercise, it's eating. And people don't realize eating is actually 80%. What you put in your mouth. You could work out 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, and if you are not eating healthy, you're not going to change anything about your body. So I think definitely healthy eating and exercise, a combination, is the way to go.
No question about it. So if somebody was going to start this from the beginning, how did they find you? And when I say how did they find you, it's a very important question because I remember the old days, 100 years ago. You remember the old Vic Tanny gyms? No.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
you do? Now I know how old you are. Okay. But the old...
No, I never saw one, but I've heard of them.
Okay. You covered that really quick. That was good. But I remember the old...
No, really.
I'm playing with you. I remember
no problem.
I remember the old Vic Tanny gyms, okay? And you'd go in, and the way that they would sell a membership, I'm not kidding. You'd walk in, they'd put you in this little room. There were 5 guys would walk in there. There was 6'3", 27-inch arms, and believe me, you signed up before you left. I mean, that was the old days. They don't do that. They don't do that today. And now, if anybody ever asks you what happened on this show, you'll always say that you refuse to remember the Vic Tanny gyms, but that's okay. So
okay.
But in today's world, you got to make that decision to do so. And I really believe when you come down to it, working out is great. And I wouldn't know what to do without working out. But at the same time, I have noticed if I work out too much for a day or two, I don't feel good. And that's really what happens. And it happens to most people, but they don't get it. If you've really hit a day where you've gone beyond where you normally go, the next day or so, you're not going to feel too good. So there's a way to move through and to get around this. So is there that balance? Is there something that in between where you can get the kind of body that you want and at the same time be healthy about it?
Oh, for sure. Like I said, I work out 6 days a week, but that's because I do this for a living. An average person needs to work out 4 to 5 times a week, an hour a day, a combination of 30 minutes of cardiovascular exercise, which is getting your body moving, and 30 minutes of weight-bearing exercise, which this is very, very important because people don't realize how important weight-bearing exercise is for your body, for your joints, for your bones, to prevent osteoporosis, but also to burn 2 to 4 times the amount of fat that you do when you're doing cardiovascular. So people want to go running or go walking on the treadmill or do just the cardio part, but they're actually burning so much more fat during the workout and at rest when they're doing the weight-bearing exercises. So it's very important to do a combination of both and the healthy eating. And when I say healthy eating, you don't have to go on a starvation diet. Just eat a moderate portion of protein, carbs, and fat. And there's so many websites. Google anything to do with zone diet or a balanced diet of what you need of each different category. And then work out and just stay healthy and you could stay fit. But you had asked me earlier, where to find help to get to this point. Nowadays in the gym, there's a lot of what's called life coaches, and we're personal trainers that have more knowledge on nutrition, but also way of life. And the most important thing that I can stress on this talk with you is that people really need to get into the mindset of healthy way of living, because the diet and exercise is not enough, because people are they're not being able to move forward in their fitness goals because there's something going on mentally with the individuals, whether it's from their childhood, whether it's from their present moment, whatever it is, the stress of today in our society, financially, all the divorce rate, people are just struggling so much with their mental issues that they can't get to where they want to be with their physical being and, of course, their well-being, which is going to keep them living longer. So the most important thing I could stress is when you do find someone to help you, make sure it's a personal trainer who's a / life coach or has a little more knowledge to be able to guide a person, to show them that they need to clear their mind, they need to meditate, figure out what is stopping them from becoming healthier. Why do they keep picking up that cigarette? Why do they keep drinking that 2-3 glasses of wine? Why do they go binge drinking, binge eating? There's reasons behind everything when it comes to the mindset, and that's so important for people to realize.
No question. Now, we're just about out of time, so let me ask you this. Website we can find you at?
Okay, Lisa Dwoskin, which is spelled DWOSKIN.com. And also I'm on Facebook, and it's at Facebook.com. It's called Body by Lisa, or BBLFitness.com.
Wonderful. Hey, Lisa, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Have a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.